Hey folks, welcome to another episode from AMPro Engineering and the final episode in the Traxxas TRX4 interior build. I don't want to talk anymore, I just want to put this thing together, so let's do it. To install the interior bucket onto this chassis, you're going to need the two parts here that came with the interior bucket. We'll start with the rear one. This mount here will allow you to slot these two pegs into this to reduce the number of body pins you need to hold the interior in place, because obviously to access the battery, the interior's got to come off. With that said, please note how I have done the measuring here. The battery retainer is flipped upside down in its higher position, not its lower position. This is the battery pack that I'm running, and anything that fills this void here should fit in this interior set. Now, I don't have exotic larger batteries, so if you have any concern that this interior set, which will sit right here directly above this battery area, will not fit, please reach out to me and ask any questions that you may have, and I'll do my best to answer them. Also, the vehicle that you see here is my only TRX4, so I know that it will fit this, but if yours has additional components or some kind of modified feature, I simply do not have the bandwidth to understand every option that is available for the TRX4. This is a very popular truck and tons of things are available for it. So without further ado, we'll have to take off the rear body mount. We're not going to use that anymore. And we are going to drop this guy right in its place. You want it so that it says AMPro when the car is standing on its back bumper. We'll use the same screws that held the standard body mount in place. And you will have to put some nuts here. So the rear mount is installed. Now we'll install the front mount. I have the rock lights here, and I designed this so that it would fit with or without. If you don't have the rock lights, just make sure you leave the delete panel there. We're going to back out this screw. We'll do that for both sides. This will go only in one orientation. Basically, this little recess right here sits directly above the rock lights, just like that. And then we'll put our screw right back into it. You will want a longer screw right here. This is an M2.5, so if you go to your hobby shop, I would say go with the 10mm unit and you should be fine. All right, so the front is installed and the rear is installed. Now to put the body on. So we'll take our interior. At the rear, I'm doing the best I can here, I apologize. You will want to line up these two pins, very large pins, with the two holes at the back, and it's a lot harder to see on camera than it is in person. The rock lights do take up a little bit of necessary space, but it will fit. And at the front, just go ahead and push it straight down on top of the posts. So this won't fit because somebody here never actually cleaned out any of these holes or these posts. The 3D printing process left them kind of jagged, so you do want to just clean them out. I also sprayed about 3,000 coats of paint on this, which kind of plugged everything up. So, okay, and after I cleaned it, it'll just go right on top. I am noticing something here. This one here, you push it down and it pops back up. So if we turn it around, there's a lot of stuff going on inside this chassis. What we can see is this wire is touching, but that's not a big deal. What's actually happening is I've got this adapter back here that goes from the Traxxas plug to the Dean's plug, and it's in the way. So I'm going to try and move this sucker out of the way because it's coming into contact with the chassis here. I can shove it down, but I don't think that's a good idea. So before you try and force anything, just ensure that you've got nothing in the way. All right, I've just tucked it down instead of having it way up here, and this is definitely my fault. Between the telemetry voltmeter here and the adapter, I've got a 50mm of block that is causing nothing but trouble, not just because of the interior, it's always been an issue. Let us install it again. So start at the rear, just aim those two pins up, and remember, this might be a little stiff the first couple times, just don't force anything. Drop these down and we're all set. The body pins should just be a couple of the body pins that hold the Bronco body on, so they're pretty standard. Body pins are installed, and I think it's time for the body. But before we get there, since we have gotten rid of the rear body mount, 100% of the load applied to the top of the body, let's say in the event of a rollover or a severe crash, is going through the roll bar, through the interior bucket, which does have reinforced members to channel the force down to the mount that we installed earlier. So this is not weak, but by no means is it going to be anywhere as strong as the factory Traxxas unit. I just want to be very clear about that because this could be a serious issue if you have a severe rollover. You may compromise the interior. Now you can see here there's these little standoffs which help to stabilize the bucket onto the inner fender wells. Just to show you here, this is not going to have any kind of problem with force. I mean, it's pretty durable. The moment of truth is now, though, we need to put the body on. Before we put the body on, I do have to plug in the dashboard lights as well as the car's lights. So I'm going to pull the body off, and to do that, we're going to lift the front up. And I find that right now, giving it a good wiggle just pushes it right back. I did very quickly want to show off the interior dash lighting. I am exceptionally happy with this. This is a warm white 5mm LED that I found on eBay, and I think they look fantastic. It's not giving off that weird blue vibe. They are really showing more intense than they are in person. And it's kind of cool because if you look right here over the wiper and the headlights, those two lights are illuminated. It is dim, but they are working. And even the radio looks fantastic. I'm really happy with how that turned out. You can even see on the bottom right a little orange light, which is our stereo indicator. Again, a little washed out on the video. Okay, again, I'll do my best to show this off. Unfortunately, the truck does have the lighting set, which means there's a million wires in here, and this comes fairly close to the body. So that should prove to be interesting. That's probably not the word. Oh, yes. Incredibly irritating, but we've come too far, so let's go ahead and do it. Also, the Traxxas light controller is going to have to move. My plan is to make a little mount for it, but if you've got the Traxxas lighting kit, you are going to have to move it off of the location where it currently is. All right, so I've set the back down. I'm just trying to hide. I'm sorry I can't do this much better. I don't have much room here. We're gonna try and tuck away this wire. You can just imagine how much fun this is gonna be on the trail. Oh, I gotta change the battery. Oh, no problem. I'll have it done in a good couple of hours. What is it? Oh, you're stuck right there. Get back over here. Bumpers get caught on everything. It was actually caught down here, so it didn't want to seat. In fact, it's still not. There we go. It's in. Let's put a couple body pins up there. Okay, body pins are installed. And in fact, you know what? We're doing this. We're taking these off because we're not gonna do all this way. Junk. I also have some new bumpers that I'm going to be designing for this truck because I want to run some more off-road style bumpers, but some old school ones too. Oh man, this I have. Oh man, I have wanted to see it like this since I first. As a wire fishing its way through from the side. Oh, why is that not working? And if it's a Ford, you should just give it a whack. I've wanted to see this Bronco like this the second I found out that Traxxas was coming out with this thing. Let's try and give it a little walk through here. I really like the lack of the rear body mount because it does add that more realism where you look through the back window, which by the way I cut out. So instead of seeing the rear body mount, you're basically seeing an interior. Something. I think one of these lights is catching on the body or something. It's not all the way down there, but I'm nitpicking right now. I really like how the dash looks, looking through the front windshield. Can you see our interior lighting? I pulled the body off again because nothing was really lining up correctly. So what I realized is that because of all the wiring for the Traxxas lighting kit and the fact that I haven't finalized where I wanted to have the controller, which right now is dangling on this side here, none of the wires are held in place, so they're basically getting caught everywhere. I snugged the wiring up and then I aligned the truck, so I put the body in first at the rear and then pivoted it forward like this, and it went on almost perfectly. Got the interior lighting on, if you can see it there. Let me kill the lights. All right, looking through the window, we get to see our operational dash lights. I didn't plug the steering wheel in right now because there's enough stuff plugged in this car. Well, this wraps up this interior build. It has been about 7 months to put this whole thing together, and to be honest, I'm happy it's done. The truck is going to get some 3D printed wheels as well as some period correct front and rear bumpers, but right now I'm just very happy that I get to finally drive this truck. So the question you're probably asking yourself right now is, do you want one? And chances are the answer is no. This is an incredibly complicated kit with a ridiculous price tag due to its size and the number of parts that are needed to put this whole thing together. And the fact of the matter is it makes the Bronco a lot more difficult to live with. You have a lot of stuff in here which basically was empty before. So accessing the battery will require taking the body off, pulling the complete interior out. If you've got the operational steering wheel and lights, that's 2 plugs to unplug right there. Not to mention the actual lighting kit on the Bronco, which is going to cause a problem as well. So most likely the interior here, it might be cool to look at. You might think you really want it, but please really weigh the pros and cons, because I suspect that 9 times out of 10, you're going to want to take this thing out for a drive and then say this interior is a pain and leave it behind. There are a lot of options available right now. I know there's a couple of really inexpensive vacuum formed interiors, as well as some 3D printed ones that are available. And I was pretty aware that some simpler and lower cost options were going to be made available. But you know, at AMPro Engineering, it's either go big or go home. And I think this is about as big as I feel like going anytime soon. Again, I'm only able to test this truck's compatibility with what I have here. So if you have any questions about aftermarket parts that you may have, thank you all so much for watching. It's been a great one. You will see this interior again very soon. I do want to take this thing out for some drives and some photo shoots, so please stay tuned. We will see more of this truck and some more upgrades. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. We'll just leave with a shot of the interior there.